Good morning to all of you. Today we will discuss about in the last lecture we will discuss what actually a digital image is and the pixels it comprises of the 0 and 1s. What are the applications and fields of digital image processing, and next we have discussed the fundamental steps of digital image processing. It comprises of 10 steps. Next we had discussed components of imaging system. In today's lecture we will cover what is a human visual system, that is an element model of visual perception. Next we will discuss about light and the electromagnetic spectrum and the image representation, how the image is represented in a camera or a computer device. Next is image sensing and acquisition, and finally we will discuss about the sampling, quantization and resolution of images. So what is a human visual system? It is a best vision model in today's world we have. The knowledge of how images form in our eye can help us with the processing of digital images. How the image is formed in our eye, and this is known as human visual system. So firstly we'll discuss about the structure of the human eye. It comprises of the lens, the light reflected from the object goes to the lens of the eye, and then the retina is covered with light receptors called cones and rods. The cones are concentrated around the fovea and these are very sensitive to color, but rods are more spread out and are sensitive to low levels of illumination, which are responsible for capturing the images. Next, the image formation in the eye. How the images are formed in our eye. The muscles in the eye can be used to change the shape of the lens. Actually, the lenses are of two types, convex and concave, and for that muscles are responsible to change the focus points of objects that are near or far away. An image is focused onto the retina, causing rods and cones, which becomes excited and ultimately sends signal to the brain. And here in the picture we can see that an inverted erect image is formed at the retina of our eye, and then this signal is sent to the brain. Then the brain identifies the object. Next, the brightness adaptation. The human visual system can perceive approximately 10 raised to power 10 different light intensity levels. You can imagine that human eye can distinguish about 10 raised to power 10 different light intensity levels. It is very huge. However, at any one time we can only discriminate between a much smaller number. This is known as brightness adaptation. That is, we can only discriminate between a much smaller range of numbers. Human eye cannot distinguish between a higher intensity and a lower intensity at the same time. Similarly, the perceived intensity of a region is related to the light intensities of the region surrounding it. This is known as perceived intensity. How the visual light is consisted of in the electromagnetic spectrum. The visible light is only a small part, as we can see in this diagram. The visible light is between the UV and infrared, whose wavelength is very less, and human eye can only see this visible portion of a electromagnetic spectrum, and light is just a particular part of that spectrum that can be sensed by human eye. Now, how we can identify a color of an object. The colors that we perceive are determined by the nature of the light reflected from an object. Here we can see the green object. From light reflected object, the color of object is identified when the light is focused. White light is focused on that object, then the object will reflect only the green light, that is the color of that object, and it will absorb all other colors of the white light. Next is sampling and quantization. An image may be a continuous with respect to x and y coordinates, as we have discussed in our previous lecture, that image is comprised of xy coordinates. So image may be a continuous with respect to x and y coordinates and also in the amplitude. To convert it into digital form, we have to sample the function in both coordinates and in the amplitude. So digitizing the coordinate values is known as sampling, while digitizing the amplitude values is called quantization. So in the following slides we will consider what is involved in capturing a digital image, that is image sensing and representation, sampling and quantization, and then resolution. How the images are represented in a 2D matrix. Here we can see that pixel values are the gray values known as 0 to 255, 0 for black and white for 255, and we will see later on these images can easily be represented as matrices. Now how images are acquired in camera. Generally images are typical notations of illumination and scene can be X-ray of a skeleton, ultrasound of an unborn baby, and electromagnetic microscopic images of molecules. How images can be sensed by a sensing device. The collection of sensors are responsible to sense an image. Here in the matrix shown in the diagram are responsible for storing the pixels of the image, so we can view the digital part of the image. So we have discussed that digital sensor can only measure a limited number of sensors at a discrete set of energy as a discrete set of energy levels. So to convert it into a digital form, we have to sample both the coordinates and also the amplitude. This is known as sampling, and digitizing the amplitude is known as quantization. So quantization is the process of converting a continuous analog signal into a digital representation of that signal. Quantization means the gray value, what are the gray level or the intensity of a pixel at that particular point. Here in this plot, this is a 1D function and is a plot of amplitude, that is the intensity level for continuous image along the line segment AB as represented in the plot. The random variations shown in this plot are due to image noise. To sample this function, we will take equally spaced values along line AB. The samples are shown as small white squares superimposed on the function. The set of these discrete locations gives the sampled function in the third plot. In order to form a digital function, the intensity values also must be converted into discrete quantities. That is the gray level or the intensity of white or black color in an image. The vertical tick marks as shown in this plot indicate the specific values assigned to each of the 8 intensity intervals. The continuous intensity levels are quantized by assigning one of the 8 values to each sample. The continuous image is projected onto a sensor array, and then finally we will get a result of image sampling and quantization. In practice, the method of sampling is determined by a sensor arrangement used to generate the image, and quantization of sensor output completes the process of generating a digital image. Here we can see the different gray levels of image as shown in this diagram. And also the digital image is always an approximation of the real world scene. As we can see in this diagram, that pixels are shown as sampled points in a matrix, and here the pixel distance is very large, so we can see a discrete image instead of a continuous image. So next is a plot of function with 2 axes determining spatial location of a, and the third axis being the values of intensities, that is f, as a function of 2 spatial variables x and y. In second plot, it is much more common that it shows fxy as it would appear on the monitor or photograph. In this figure, the intensity of each point is proportional to the value of f at that point. In this intensity value, 0 corresponds to black, 0.5 to grey, and 1 to white. Next is the spatial resolution. The spatial resolution of an image is determined by how sampling was carried out. It simply refers to smallest discernible detail in an image. Actually what happens is the vision specialist will talk about the pixel size only, and the computer graphics or the graphic designer will talk about the dots per inch in an image or the image representation. It can be stated as the image spatial resolution can also be stated as line pairs per unit distance and dots per unit distance. In US, this measure is usually expressed as DPI, that is dots per inch. On the other hand, intensity resolution referred to be as the smallest discernible change in the intensity level. Unlike spatial resolution, which is based on per unit distance, intensity resolution is referred to as number of bits used to quantize the intensity, that is the gray level, that is the color of 0 and 1 bits it contains, how many different colors of gray it contains. So it can be said that an image whose intensity is quantized into 256 level has 8 bits of intensity resolution, because as we can see in this image, it consists of 1024 different 1024 pixels, and each pixel contains of different gray levels. Next is the 512, this is 512, this is 256, 128 bits, 64 bits, 32 bits. Here we can see easily distinguish between the resolution of a smaller pixel image and a higher pixel image. The quality degrades with the smaller pixel image because of sampled values, and here we can see that only small details of image can be seen in this image. What is the intensity level resolution? It refers to number of intensity level used to represent the image. The more intensity level used, the finer the level of detail discernible in an image, as we have seen in the flower photograph. Image intensity resolution is usually given in terms of number of bits used to store each intensity level. That is, if we are storing lesser number of bits, the quality is degraded. If we are storing lower number of bits for same pixel, that is if we are using 8 bits per pixel, the quality of image is very high. That is known as high resolution image. As we can see in this diagram, this is a diagram of our human brain. In the first image, 256 gray levels are shown, that is 8 bits used per pixel. In the next image, here we can see the original image, and here we can see the 256 gray levels image. Here we can see the original image. Here we can see the distinguish between a 128 gray levels image, that is 7 bits used per pixel. Here we can see the original image and the 64 gray levels, that is 6 bits used per pixel. And here we can totally distinguish between the original image and the changed image, which have used 32 gray levels, only 5 bits per pixel. The 2 gray levels are used here, which only consist of 0 and 1, that is black and white image. And here we can see that 4, that is 2 bits per pixel are used. That means 4 different colors of gray are used. Here 8 different colors of gray are used and 16 different colors of gray are used. We can see that image quality is degraded in all of the last 6 images, and we can see these false contours in these images, because the false contours effect is very bad when we use very low bit images, low bit pixel images. Here we can see the considerable change in the pixels. Next is saturation. What is a saturation? Sometimes we can define the dynamic range of an image system to be the ratio of maximum measurable intensity to the minimum detectable intensity level in the image. So the upper limit is determined by saturation and the lower limit is determined by a noise. Basically, the dynamic range is establishes the lowest and highest intensity levels that a system can represent. Here we can see the saturation is this white portion, because an image, our eye cannot handle both of the high quality image at the same time and lower quality image at the same time. This is known as saturation. If we have to represent very dark region and very bright region at the same time, then it is a trouble situation known as saturation. So resolution, how much is enough? How a human can identify that this much resolution is enough to see a better quality image? The big question is that how much is enough? This all depends on what is in the image and what you would like to do with it. If an image consists of very fine details, then we must able to show the fine details of the image clearly. That is, does the image look aesthetically pleasing? If we are happy with the image, if the observer is happy with the representation of image, then we are done with the resolution. And can you see what you need to see within the image? If we are able to identify, that is in case of forensics, if we are able to identify the exact location of the criminal or exact face of the criminal, then we can see that this is the exact resolution we want. What we want was that we have got that what we want. In this example, as we can see, the both of the images, we can see the cars. We can distinguish about between the two cars, that there are total 2 cars in the image. The picture on the right is fine for counting the number of cars, but not for reading the number plate. As we can see in the left side of the image, there is more clear, and we can see the number plate also. This all depends upon what we want to see in an image. What we want to see, have we got that? Next is intensity level resolution. The lower level details we can see in this girl image, and the medium detail in this cameraman image, and very high level of detail in the crowd. So we need to show lower number of bits in the girl image, and medium number of bits in the cameraman, and very high number of bits are required in the crowd image. So in today's lecture, we have looked at human visual system, how it works, and the electromagnetic spectrum, where the visible light falls, and also the representation of image, how images are acquired and sensed, and finally we have discussed about the sampling and quantization of the image. Next time, in the next lecture, we will discuss about the techniques for image enhancement. There are various different techniques for image enhancement, both in spatial domain and frequency domain. We will discuss one of them. Thank you.